Hi, everybody. We're back at it again. Even though I think I'm about 3 days rivaling Tom Hanks in Castaway, we're still got an episode this week because there are enough campaigns with interesting enough box arts that I want to look at them and then be let down over and over again. So, because you're here, you get to tag along for the ride. This is Crowdfunding Countdown, where we take a look at every single board game campaign, finishing up in the next week, and we're just going to take it for the week. I thought we might be able to push it till the end of the year, but we're going to do it this week, and then hopefully next week we'll be able to give a full end of the year coverage, or not. We'll see if everything is dried up because you've all spent all the money in the world on packages you have yet to receive. But don't worry, they're coming. Let's hope the world doesn't end by then. As always, shout out to all of my newest patrons. And now that that's done, shout out to my current patrons. Thank you so much for staying on board, for supporting Room and Board. I realize as we head into December, some of you have been here for like a year. And that is mind-blowingly amazing to me. It really is. It's a complete honor, and that is why I drag my sorry carcass out of bed every morning, because I got you turkeys to back me. Because turkey carcasses, I mean, I guess other things can have carcasses. That's not quite a good connection. Happy Thanksgiving. That's already passed. I live in Canada. Anyway, let's get right into it. Let's switch it up. Well, let's do that segment over again. First up, we have Dark Venture, an adventure card game, the second edition. My microphone wasn't working, but I fixed that now. I've added in a new microphone system. We're all good to go, but it just means I have to redo this. But I'm glad I checked before I did the entire thing and then cried myself to sleep. This is basically a choose your own adventure card game. That's it. Not even really a card game. Well, yeah, you're going to draw from 3 different decks. You're going to have your character deck, your location deck, and your item deck, and then you can play those on your turn. You're going to have 3 action points on your turn. Oh, look at this changing. Lovely. This shows all the different things that you get. You're going to have 3 action points on your turn. Some actions will be free. Some actions will be free once, and then you have to pay for them. Some actions will cost you dearly, like most things in my life cost me. But $35 shipping to the US is $12. Shipping everywhere else is like 20. It's not like the greatest. If you like narrative choice, because every location is going to be, when you play it, you have to read a little passage and something will happen. And if you go to that location and you want to do that location's action, you have to read another little passage, and your goal is to get the most quest points. If you're competing with each other, you can play it competitively or cooperatively. If you're competing with each other, you want to get more quest points than everybody else, completing these little side quests. If you're working together, well, then you want to all get to 12 quest points. I do like that their deck choices, you draw a card at the beginning of every turn. And so you get to choose. If you draw more items, you draw more characters who will act as followers. That seems fun. I really like the art style on this. Apologies if I'm repeating myself, because I am repeating myself. Yeah, I really like the art style on this. And $35, $12 shipping is not horrible if you really like that narrative choice paragraph style of thing. I would scroll down to the rule book, but it's 7/8 down the page. Right here, though, showcasing the type of narrative choice that you will be experiencing throughout the game. So if that interests you, check it out. That finishes Thursday, December 8th at 11 a.m. Moving on to Legends Untold, the Illumination of Deepsorrow. Explore the mysteries of Mor Nadar in this epic co-op adventure with branching episodes. Branching episodes, which means purchase more expansions, please. It's not enough on its own. I'm pausing this video to say that the line of text in the video was, make friends or enemies. I'm pretty sure that's your friend. That's your best friend that you've ever made, ever in your life. And if you think that's an enemy, well, I don't know who you're hanging out with. Just get to know him. He's got a very soft side. His name is Greg, and he howls the most beautiful poetry at the moon. Always trust a blue demon with glasses. Just because they're steampunk glasses doesn't matter. He still needs them to see. He's a bit of a nerd, but once you get to know him, his flesh turns red, and well, that's if you really get to know him. If you get to know him just as a friend, then it'll turn green, and See, the original world just had Nadar, but this one has more Nadar. Okay, I'm sorry. Let's get to the rulebook. Standalone core set and expansion. I do like that. I also didn't see that this was from the Fnatic reviews, whoever that is, but I really just would like this to be from the game designers and just have every campaign moving forward have that on their page. I highly recommend you consider this title. But there's the problem. Where is the rule book, though? No, it does not exist. Damn it. I waste so much time on this shit. There is one playthrough video that's 52 minutes long. No breakdown of what it even is. You know what? See, I do like this. Speed of a card game. 5-minute setup. 0 downtime. Well, okay, probably not. 1 hour playtime. The depth of an RPG. You can disarm or bypass traps, navigate obstacles, encounter NPCs. Like, I like that. And you're going to be building the map as you go, as it kind of showed us in this video, which I'll just mute so that I can keep talking. You're going to be unlikely adventurers who are headed into a 16-hour quest campaign to try to, I guess, electrocute giant cats. That's what this is telling me. And water serpents. Yeah, this is the place that feels the most salient for me. Is that you're going to be flipping over these randomly generated dungeons and running through them and killing monsters, and it's all going to be card driven. But there's no rulebook on the campaign page. There's no even breakdown of the things that you get to do on your turn. So the art style looks good, but like, are you going to take a $64 Canadian gamble on that? I don't think so. And I'm not sitting through a 52-minute playthrough. I'm not interested in that. Especially because it's $19 shipping. 19 pounds shipping. Oof. So that even doubles the base pledge, which isn't the new pledge, which is fix some stuff. So even though it's got good art, I wouldn't waste my time with this one. I wouldn't waste your time, as I have just wasted mine. But if you're interested in doing that, hey, watch the whole playthrough and then write in the comments what you think about it. That finishes Thursday, December 8th at 3:09 p.m. Moving along to Clash of Decks Season 3. This is new content, 4 standalone expansions. Ooh, 144 cards. List me some more things, Clash of Decks. 8 special abilities, 3 multiplayer modes, 11 grimoire booklets, and a mobile video game. They had one of those before. It's called Clash of Decks is on Board Game Arena. Go check it out. Clash of Decks is one that I like. I have it. I own this. And I like it because it was free. The first go around was free, and then they have since expanded upon their content. They said, hey, take a chance with us. Get this free little game. It's a 2-player head-to-head card game.
So it's just like Duel Monsters.
No, it's not just like Duel Monsters. It isn't. Because things change depending upon their position in your hand, which I think is fun. I do love this, though, Clash of Decks. Right away, it says, listen, we've got a bunch of stuff. Here's our new stuff. And if for new players, boom, rulebook, quarter top of the page. Great job. I mean, I already know how to play, but I have forgotten. So I don't know how to play, and I will be rereading. The thing that sort of, I think, held me back, honestly, is that the rules aren't in the actual deck. Just save on shipping costs to make it small. It's just a deck of cards that they sent out. This is the 3rd time they've had it around, though. Yeah, the difference of this game, I mentioned things change based upon where they are. It's actually your stronghold that moves at a spot throughout your hand. That's how you track your HP, and then it'll flip over, and then it moves again. And once you've reduced it through twice, it's dead. I like this as well because there's a draft version. So if you're playing if you're a beginner, you can do these pre-constructed whatever, but there's a draft version so that you can reveal cards and then pull them out, and then you know exactly what's in your opponent's hand, and then it becomes a push and pull of when can they play their things. This is a much better rulebook than the last time I read through it, though. That's great. But they're highlighting this here, and this is the cool, interesting part about this game, is the more creatures, the more things that you have in play, the less health points your bastion or your fort will have, because the less time it'll take to go through your hand, which I think is kind of a neat twist. But you're just going to want to throw your people out there anyway, because it's better that they're out there and they're smashing people in the head than just sitting in your hand not doing anything. If you're a fan of these sort of 2-player card games, check it out. I don't know why this is the only expansion, the only thing that they're announcing, though. This makes me upset. €40, $57. I mean, I don't even play it, and it was free. All the expansions will do is just give additional cards with additional abilities. And, like, additional abilities are fun, but you don't really need them. And they're also offering this grimoire, which is just solo puzzles, I think, that they're giving a printed copy. Or they have a Discord server. I like this, though, because it's very focused around the community. Oh, my goodness, these prices have gone up. Well, they've certainly gone up from free, right? Like, there's got to be some cost to them. And I don't mind that they've gone up because it was a cool initial campaign push that I hadn't seen before and has made me remember it since. I will say, though, that I would much rather play something like Keyforge rather than this. But it's great that it is on Board Game Arena. So if you play it on Board Game Arena and you're like, wow, this is so amazing. I wish I had a bunch of different decks that I could slap together. Don't we all? But in this regard, I'd love to slap these Season 1 and 2 decks. I just wish there was a way to get it for cheaper here, rather than having to buy everything all at once. They have free shipping, so that's quite nice. I mean, I'm sure it's certainly not reflected in these very expensive prices, but $10 for a deck of cards with free shipping, €10, $10, 57 Canadian, so 12 is okay. I mean, you're not getting a lot of cards here, but it's all right. I think this is a perfectly fine game that I have no interest in getting any more expansions other than that base game. I think I would be perfectly fine to play it once a year on Board Game Arena, but I like the model, and I like how it's running, and I like that they've, again, hit their goal. So great job, Clash of Decks. If you're interested in that, it finishes Thursday, December 8th at 4 p.m. Moving along to Godsforge and expansions. Dragon Gods and Great Houses. A fast-paced game of spellcasting duels adds Dragon Gods and Great Houses expansions. Plus gets an upgrade to 2nd edition. Godsforge is a fast, simultaneous play epic fantasy dice roller that plays in just 30 minutes. Not many games out there can do all that. No, not with the dice roller portion. You do have a few people beat with that one. Simultaneous play, plays in 30 minutes. I mean, you kind of are a little, you do say fast and plays in 30 minutes. You just wanted to get the fast in there, didn't you? Because it sounds better. One of the biggest complaints from board gamers is about waiting their turn. Godsforge play is simultaneous to give the game a quick pace. That's true. Except what happens if you're quicker than somebody else? Where's that zero downtime? I'm playing my turn and I'm moving on. No, you're not. I do love you, Godsforge, though. Give me that rulebook right at the top of the page. Well, not right at the top, but, top 20%. Another bonus of the rulebook being higher up on the page, it means I can roast you less on your campaign page because I don't have to scroll through a whole bunch of garbage to get to it. I get to see that later. Okay, so you have to roll your dice. You have 4 dice, and you're going to roll them, and then you have to pay the cost of the cards. So in this one, you'd have to roll a 3, a 4, and a 5 just to be able to play it? Okay, I kind of hate it, but I kind of am intrigued. You can only re-roll a die twice. 1 die twice, or 2 dice once each. Yeah, see, then if you roll a 6, well, you get something to help you later on. I feel like this is the sort of game that bridges the gap between Yahtzee and Dice Throne. Here's the thing. I get it. I see how it could be interesting. Yeah, you know what? Rolling the dice to see if you can play your cards, it feels fine. But what happens when you can't play your cards? And you only have 2 rerolls as well, which just doesn't feel good. I don't know why you can't reroll your more than just 1 dice 2 times. That feels wild to me. And it's $39 or $53 Canadian, and for that price, you should just go get Marvel Dice Throne. You really should. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued by this because I think people who aren't gamers might really enjoy this, rolling dice and battling each other. This is Dungeon Dice Monsters. You made it. But it just is really odd to me that the cost is associated with the number of dice you roll. It's not, because you're basically rolling Yahtzee numbers and then saying, okay, great, I can play this really cool card. But I'm worried if you're limited to a certain amount of cards and you get a bad draw, how you're gonna fare, right? So it feels like it's gonna be fairly random on random, which is unfortunate. But, it doesn't look horrible. I just think Dice Throne looks like it's way better, and I'm a big Dice Throne fan after having played a bunch of it. But if you're interested in that, check that out. That's Thursday, December 8th at 6:30 p.m. Right, because it's $53 Canadian, and we didn't even talk about shipping because I almost forgot about it. That's pretty good. $10 shipping. $10 shipping's pretty good. 13 to Canada is pretty good. So 10 to 16 if you're in the UK. So not bad. You are paying the extra Kickstarter 5% for shipping, though. I understand everyone charges a fee, though, but Kickstarter does take the 5% on their shipping. I asked them. And then I said, don't you think it's stupid to do that when you're going to be losing business to other platforms? And they said, this is above my pay grade. Let me get back to you. And nobody got back to me after that email. Anyway, if you're interested in checking this out, like I said, Thursday, December 8th. Let's move on to Where's My Ride? I mean, we're probably not moving on to this, but I gotta look at it, right? Cooperative deduction, though. Please make your font, just because your font is the same as what do you meme doesn't mean that, oh, I think it's going to be bad. This is another one that I hate, and I don't hate. I think it actually could be good, but not for $30. This is something I'd want to pay $20 Canadian for, max, not 41 plus shipping. Here's the deal. You have a location. The driver's parked at one of these locations because in this world, you have to flag the driver down and they don't get to you. The app is malfunctioning. The definitely not Uber or Lyft app, well, could be one of them. It's malfunctioning. The driver is at a certain place, and rather than drive around the neighborhood, they said, listen, you called for a cab. I don't care. I'm at the lighthouse. And then you, as the rider, are like, okay, where are you? And the driver is not gonna respond to you. The driver can't send you any words, so you can send the driver words, but you have to send stuff that is pre-written on the cards that you pulled out of your pocket, and I guess you're scanning them. I think you're taking a picture of these cards, the only words that are around that you can possibly send, and you'll send like a hazmat suit, and then the driver will help with emojis and use their emojis to say, yes, I want you to come to the hazmat suit, or no. That's basically it. You have to communicate with this limited communication. I don't hate it. I hate that it's using emojis. I do. As somebody who also did the little disguise face emoji to almost everything a friend was sending me when we were live tweeting each other about the mole, this is the pot calling the kettle a cat with heart eyes. Shipping is $9 to the US, $15 to Canada. So it's $39 US. Oof, it's 45, so it's $60 if I wanted to get this in Canada. And that's just like, I don't know who can justify that. You can't. It just seems fine. But you know what? If I saw this for $20, I wouldn't buy it. No, I wouldn't. But I would think about it. If I received it as a gift by a well-meaning aunt who knew I liked board games, I would say thank you, and I would play it. And you know what? I would probably enjoy myself when I did. If you are that well-meaning aunt, well, get your pocketbook out, because that finishes Thursday, December 8th at 8 p.m. Let's move along to Maple Valley by KTBG. Final preparations have begun for the annual Spring Festival in this delightful standalone sequel to Creature Comforts. Standalone because it uses the same art style and probably not similar mechanics, but who knows? Let's see. As the youngest and fastest member of the family, it's your job to gather everything they need to make the party a success. That's a very funny line. We're all busy here, sitting and getting ready for the party. Go, young whippersnapper. Go get it. That's also funny. They call it a worker movement game, which I don't know what I would call it. I know I've probably covered that mechanic in my mechanics series by now. It's like pathways, right? It's point A to point B. It's not necessarily connections because you're traveling along different pathways and you're getting things when you go there. But it's more like optimized engine efficiency. All right, let's check the rulebook out. 54 US, 72 Canadian for the Kickstarter edition. And that's good because, I mean, I'll get to the rulebook in a second, but I feel like I've got a great picture on how to play from the video, which is always great. I've heard really good things about Creature Comforts as a nice family game. You know, me having no family because they were all kidnapped by bears. Well, I mean, sorry, they were all kidnapped by adorable friends. What am I even looking up here? Get it together. Oh, yeah. Sold out retail edition, but this gives you a sense. It's $45 Canadian for the retail edition of Creature Comforts, which you're not going to be getting here. I mean, I'm just using that as a parallel, but likely a similar comparison, right? So 72 and then plus shipping, you're probably going to be paying double for the deluxe edition, where you get the fancy wooden resources. And I'll be honest, the fancy wooden resources are fun. And you get a wooden worm. It's the first time I've ever been put into a board game, so that is, you know, quite a treat. Again, additional wood and game tray inserts. That's it, though. Like, that's your upgrade. You're going to be getting all of that stuff as the extra, and you can see it's about $25 Canadian, which makes sense. That seems like a fair bar, right? That gets us to 45 for all of the additional resources. Similar thing with Creature Comforts. That's what they were offering there. Although I don't think these would be included. It would just be the fancy wooden resources. How to play is halfway down the page, though. Why? Oh, God dang that! I love that. What a beautiful picture of that nice black bear. That's great. Play a friend card from your hand. Love to play this with my family. Yeah, because you play the bear, and then it sends you down a path of its own choosing, not your own choosing, its choosing. It says, yes, you can go down this pathway. I'm sure you'll find the exit to the forest that way. I also want to say thank you to everyone out there who consistently is concerned whenever I make a comment that maybe it's the bears holding me hostage. And to you, I say thank you. It's just nice to know that somebody cares. That's cool. The more friends you have, the more turns you'll be able to take each hour as you sacrifice them along the paths of the forest that only the bears want you to walk. Rulebook, baby. Got some time on your paws? I have nothing but. I don't, but God, it's everywhere. You know, this looks completely fun. It's exactly what you would expect if you play a lot of games. You probably can imagine how it plays fairly easily. The locations give you stuff. You're going to be building your hand of cards that you can play to move around the board and map out your route the most efficiently. I just don't know if it needs a deluxe version, personally. Especially with shipping to Belgium, France, Germany, Luxembourg, and Netherlands. It's $12 Canadian. It seemed like such oddly broken down things. An additional $25 Canadian to get it to Canada even. So that's $100, $97 Canadian. And no, it's worth 45, right? I think this looks like a very fun family game. I bet it's going to be another great hit with the families. For me, it would probably be a little bit too light to get out over and over again, just for my personal taste, but Burnt Island and KTVG, who's this under? Kids Civil War Gaming, yeah. It's the same company, right? And they're also based in Toronto, which I love. It seems like a solid good. And I think if I'm paying $100, I want something a little bit more than good. But you might be interested. I see why it's raised that money. Go check it out. That's Thursday, December 8th at 9 p.m. I would just wait for retail, though, for this one. Moving along to Tiny Epic Crimes with Red Reveal. Only $25, the way Tiny Epic Crimes likes to work. Or the Tiny Epic series does, rather. Investigators, you have 48 hours to collaborate or compete to solve the Echo Ridge murder. Use the Tiny Epic decoder system and win. This is interesting. I do love this warning that this video contains fictitious scenes and sounds of gun violence and blood. But just so you know, warning, you're about to see a fiction. That's how I'm going to start every dating profile from here on out. You're about to see a fiction. Hi. Chris George. I know that this is just a video, but I certainly hope the component quality will be better than this very clear image of why even bother trying to decode it. This is Tiny Epic's version of Clue, though. That was a good video. I don't feel like I even need to see the rulebook because I've put it all together. And yeah, this is exactly how it works. You're going to have your suspect, and they're going to have these sort of 5 things associated with them, what they used. It's Clue, right? You know how to play Clue. I bet you do. I would worry that the suspect cards, there's 16, right? Because there's 16 total. I would worry that you might remember some possibilities. Most often, you're not going to be playing this back to back to back and seeing, oh yes, Diamond Joe over here. Diamond Jim. That's Slippery Jim's dad, guaranteed. Ugh, I also hate bullet dice. I do. I hate dice that you have to roll like that. Just be real dice. They probably couldn't fit into the box, though. I mean, Tiny Epic, $25, 34 Canadian. What's shipping? Probably 15? Let's guess 15. Only 5 more for the Crooked Capos. And then only 5 more, oh no, only 10 more gets you definitely not the Joker. Definitely not Baron Samdi? Richmond the Rake. Rulebook 50% down the page. All right. Yeah, the other thing that you're going to do on your turn is you're going to run around the board and you're going to collect clues. And the type of clue is determined by where you visit. And so you're going to deal out this map randomly. It's going to be a random map. Random suspect. Hey, shipping's better than I expected. Shipping's $9, $12 to get to Canada. So $34 US, $37 US for Canada, so $50. That's usually what it ends up being. And I like the $25 tag, right? Like $32 for this? Yeah, not horrible. But when you convert it to my currency, the worst currency in the land, not really. I'm completely fine with my currency right now. It does make it a little bit more expensive at $50. I don't think I'd pull the trigger for this, but it looks fine, you know? I think with the Tiny Epic games, I've only owned Tiny Epic Quest and I got rid of it because I wasn't playing it that much and I wasn't really taking it out. I love the concept of them. I like that they can pack so much punch and so many components into a bag and create like a really nice framing of it. I really like their mandate that it comes in a small package, and I think I just don't reach for them personally. It's in that weird realm of me saying, nah, I'd rather play a bigger game. Or if I'm taking a small game, I'm going to take a small game. So it's a weird sort of realm for me. But and Quest wasn't that intriguing, and I see this being a similar thing. I think it's going to be fine, but I don't know if it's going to be that intriguing. But it's a good price, so if you're interested in that, check it out Thursday, December 8th at 11:59 p.m. Moving along to Rollo, next-gen rollover board game table, 20-plus components, because we always have to list our components on Kickstarter. And here's my favorite thing, standard shipping, $400 US, $300 to the EU. Goodbye. That's it for this one. 100 backers. Okay, let's just look at this for a second. 100 backers, you move it, so average 1672 are what people have spent on it. I know this GIF is probably supposed to be moving. Oh, dang. I wanted to stay the same. I really wish that this was just a, oh, that's cool. That is cool. I mean, it still seems like a lot to set up, and it seems a bit of a gimmick and less effective than just having a topper, because then you can't keep anything on it, which is the whole point of having a recessed board, in my opinion. But it looks cool. Yeah, that's it. This exists. But, I mean, come on. Look at that shipping. Do you think we're covering it? No. Let's move on. To Cordsway, not a music theory card game, a colorblind, accessible card game made for everyone. Play with the chords without knowing music theory. Understand chords in seconds. I'm intrigued by this. I love that they're highlighting colorblind. I think more games need to always be aware of that. That's mainly the reason why I clicked on this link, because they said it's colorblind. I said, oh, cool. Look at you being accessible. Now I'm interested. Oh, yeah, it's definitely Uno. I mean, I guess that's cool. And then you're going to have like a minor second, or it's not Uno. It's $14 US. Nah, you're just matching cards and then doing other things. But hey, it's colorblind. So that is great. Next up, we have Runar by Ludus Mugus Stugazus. Guide your Viking heroes through frozen lands to defeat powerful enemies and opposing heroes. The hunt for the runic gems has just begun. Oh, just that I know this is Ludus Magnus means that this is going to be more than I want to pay. That's got to be the worst video I think I've ever seen on Kickstarter. And I sat through that one where the guy pretended to be the ShamWow guy. No, that was amazing. That was incredible. They bleeped out the word but, and they kept in, the old fart is sent to Valhalla. Of course you are. 99 euros. Ugh, for something that looks like it should be tiny, epic, mythic pantheon. That's what this feels like. It seems fairly straightforward, though. You get your 3 Vikings, you smash their decks together, and then you use their cards to do their different abilities. I do love you, though, Ludus Magnus. Great job. Rulebook at the top, and that gameplay was very clear, even though I did hate the video. So, like, props, I gotta give props to where I gotta give it to. 56 pages. Ugh. It's like, it's really weird, this art style. Feels like it should have been designed by Vesuvius Media. They did the Dwar Sevens style, and that's what this is reminding me of. But these minis are definitely a lot better than the chonky plastic of the other one. Alright, so it's all about collecting these little rune gems on the board, but you can also knock out the opponents, build a statue in their territory, or get points through event cards. Person with the most points at the end of the game wins. I do like that they're circle bases. They could very well have been square bases. What do you prefer? I'm curious. I don't think it matters as long as there's some texture to it. But I do think it matters because I prefer circle bases just unequivocally. Oh, that's cool. Okay, so throughout the game, you're going to be earning these action cubes, and then you can spend the action cubes on the abilities. And sometimes it'll be a personal action cube for like a specific hero, because remember, you're managing 3, and sometimes you can use them for whoever. Okay, and a lot of this rulebook's going to be tutorials or scenarios. So it shows, oh, that's nice. This is a nice rulebook because it does show you these tutorials, and it can show you how you're going to grow your game, basically. And doing different layouts depending on who's there with different obstacles, different gems to grab, and the different models go where they are. That's a nice paint job. Probably should have led with that. I'm not crazy on the art style here. I get what they're going for. They're trying to go for that cartoony, just random fun, even like Crossmasters style. But and I get it. You want to have like a battle royale skirmishy sort of thing, but 99 euros feels like a lot for what this game provides. I got asked to give an example of something I think looks better. I think Mythic Pantheon looks a lot better. I think it does a similar thing and is a similar price point. Yeah, this painting is out of this world. If you're a painter and you like this style, I get it. This paint job is really good. And then of course we get our shipping estimates. So the core pledge, $20 minimum. Where's Canada? 25. So in that 20 to 25, for it being fairly heavy, I'd say that's decent on shipping for what the world is right now. But you're still looking at $120, 160, 170 for this fine skirmish game. Check out Crossmaster Arena. Like, I don't know, skirmish games don't necessarily do it for me that much. I'm not sure why. I like getting a group of people together and beating upon my friends. I like tactical control, but I prefer it when there's other stuff going on, not just that tactical area. I don't know, maybe I just don't like it in my board games. I like it more in Fire Emblem. Not that I think this is anything like Fire Emblem. It is not. So even if I was interested in skirmish games, let's look at it from that aspect of it. I suppose you're a minis painter, you love your minis, you love moving minis around on a board. Ludus Magnus makes great minis, and if you're intrigued by the art style, I can see why you'd pull the trigger. I'm trying to think of a reason why you would get this, and I can't. So maybe that's the reason why you shouldn't. If you're interested, though, check that out. That finishes Friday, December 9th at 3 p.m. I think the reason is if you are that painter, and if you're that good, and you want them to look that cool, yeah. Moving along to, did I just skip ahead, or did this change? I think I must have jumped ahead and just not said the date, and jumped to December 9th. So this is just my mental check to go back and check that out and see if that's what I did, or if they moved their date. Did they move their end date? I don't know. Maybe they did. Anyway, trading card games are bad. Let's move along to Fit to Print. $29. I love seeing that price point from the team that brought you Calico, Cascadia, and Verdant, a puzzly tile-laying game about breaking the woodland news. You really just gotta break the news to the woodlands that there's a kidnapper in your midst. Probably a sex criminal too, which is different than a regular criminal. Yes. It is astonishing to me how many games use bears as their mascot. When you see it, you can't unsee it. This is a neat one. It's got a very long video, but you get the picture through it. Rulebook, 1/3 down the page. Even if I feel like I know how to do it, I always still like checking the rulebook because I like seeing how many pages it is and seeing if it actually is accessible. That's a good tell. If you think you know how to play and then you go to the rulebook and it's 40 pages, maybe there are some things in there that you don't know, and that might be deal breakers for you or not, right? It says you have an option to play frantic, standard, or relax, but you know you're going to play it frantically. Because that's the sort of game that this is. Basically, you're going to have this desk, and you're going to sift through all the potential news stories, and you're going to stack them on your desk, and then you're going to say something like layout. That's what it was. And then you're going to lay them out and try to create different patterns, and the quicker you are, well, the better your newspaper will be. Quick and fast, not accurate. That's the way to do it. Although, I'm sorry that this article that says local geese celebrate 2 decades of marriage really knocks it out of the park. Finally, a nice article about something non-bear related. Okay, good. This is what I was going through to actually check, because I thought in the video they said, the pictures score if their mood is different from the article next to it. That's not how a newspaper works. You can't have a headline that says burning building, 4 dead, and then you have a picture of a child with an ice cream cone just really happy by a campfire. But that's not how it works. There is some correlation between the two. If you have a sad headline, well, you gotta have that classic black and white shot of the half-burnt doll. Which, if that's not in here, I don't know what I'll do. You say print, you take the lowest finishing token, that'll give you additional points because people will get your newspaper hot off the press rather than lukewarm off the press or cold in the gutter. They have a turn-based mode as well, that's fine. I mean, you're not going to play it that way. You don't need to hate yourself like that, okay? Play it the way it was meant to be played. Here's the thing, I think this looks fun. It scratches that Bananagrams itch for me. Oh my gosh, so much talking. Be quiet. $13 in shipping or some group buys, which is nice. $6 per copy. Yeah, you know what? If you can get in on a group buy, that's not like horrible. $29 or $39 Canadian. So if I were to not get in on a group buy, it would be $45 US, $60 Canadian. And for that price, well, you just wait until it's in stores. Again, Cascadia, which I've yet to play and need to, at least before World Series, is $35.95, right? And I can see Fit to Print dropping in around a similar price point. So it just doesn't make sense to get it at this Kickstarter. Their stretch goals don't even look like they're Kickstarter exclusive. So it's just going to be in the regular retail version. So this is a wait for retail guaranteed, but if you're interested in getting it before, and you know what, supporting Flat Out Games because they make good stuff and you like what they make, well, hey, that's a great reason. That finishes Saturday, December 10th at 12 a.m., aka Friday night. And honestly, the shipping isn't horrible if you're getting it on a group buy anyway, so you may just want to do that so they can get more money. I get it. Moving along, we've got 3 left, it seems. The Gothies, the core set of the Gothies, this deck building game. There was another one that I was supposed to cover, or somebody dropped in the comments that they said it looked like a trading card game, but it was all in a box. Oh, this one is I should not cover as well, because 50 backers have raised $10,000? No. Every backer is not spending $500 on this. Not to mention they're going to have to pay the licensing when Big Bang Theory sues them for stealing their catchphrase and putting it as part of their company slogan, Bazinga Games. Oh, maybe Zach will get this. 18 US though, 25 Canadian for a little deck builder with some cute enough art. I'm not convinced. Also, no rulebook on the main campaign page. Oh, that's why. The Archon VIP experience. That's cool. That's how they've raised so much money. And has put them over the edge, which I would be... I don't know. I don't know if I'd be concerned about that. My hesitation is when there's that one backer who has made the whole thing fun. What happens if that backer changes their mind? This feels like more of a risk in that regard as well. I'm usually not that worried about Kickstarter risk. I feel like with a lot of board game companies, they'll just work really hard to get it to you anyway, because a lot of people are passionate, but you never know when there's going to be a sort of scam happening. Or if that one thing pushes them over and they then get to collect all the money and then they never deliver on the product, right? I'm not saying that would happen here. I don't know anything about Bazinga Games other than, you know, their unfortunate title, but you never know. So I would stay away and I'm not going to look into that one anymore. Let's move along to Henchmen Spires. See, those are spires that are underground. That's why the P is facing down. Underground spires. It's like stalagmite and stalactite. Stalactic adventure. I do love the art on this, although it feels like they just stole some of my family portraits. And this is great. Why back now? A game that has proven its success. Family edition. Easy to learn, no retail, and take that. You will have to come up with some dirty tricks to defeat your opponents. It's great to know that I probably shouldn't back that. Rulebook 2/3 down the page. Let's check it. All right, first person to get to 30 points. You're going to get points in a variety of ways in these 5 locations. Oh, that's the old board. The new board looks much better. Yeah, much better, right here. And every time you put a little pawn there, you get to draw a card. And then you get to play cards for their actions. You know what? This looks definitely better than Munchkin. It does. And if you like Munchkin, well, you should stop liking it and like this instead. That's my official ruling. For the base pledge, though, it's $35, 50 Canadian. And then shipping is not bad. 6 to 12. That feels good. That feels very reasonable. You know, it's definitely not the game for me, but for $60, this could be the game for someone. I don't think this is a horrible deal if you like this very light, kind of random take that element. I think that's huge to include that in the Why Back Now section, because it sets the tone. I mean, if the art didn't set the tone, let's be real, but that art could be applied to any location and it would still look like a George family photo. You know, I really like this campaign page because it feels fair for what you get. I like the little meeples, the printed dumb hench meeples that you've got. The shipping doesn't seem too horrible. And if this is the sort of game that you like, great. It's not necessarily the type of game for me, but I think it could be for some people, and I am thrilled. Yeah, way to go, Henchmania. That's a delightful surprise that I'm not interested in. But if you're interested, check that out. That's Tuesday, December 13th at 5:45 a.m. And the last one that we're covering today is Gatefall, the Standard Edition and Deluxe Edition reprint that hasn't raised that much, by the same person who brought you Super Fight. That's it. Or the same studio, rather. Incredible video here, because it's just the creator saying, hey, this is what's up. We've got a standee version, and we've got a miniature version, and they're 29 or they're 59. That's what it is. We're going to bring a lot more different monsters and teams and factions to the universe coming up, so we wanted to make sure that everybody could get their hands on the first edition. Just succinct, to the point, not trying to sell you anything, just saying this is what we're doing. Hope you like it. Thanks for checking us out. I absolutely love it. I'm charmed, Grim Rabbit Games. And that's great, yeah, because for cheapos like me, the standard edition would be completely fine, and $29 feels nicer than $59. Although the minis do look really nice. So if you like minis, maybe you will like it. Oh, this is kind of cool. This is actually really neat. You know how in a deck builder you always have 7 and 3? Well, I guess you have that in Dominion. Here, it's the number of things you can do on your turn when you draw 5 cards. And so when you upgrade your deck of 10 cards, you get to do more things. I like that as an idea, as a really interesting take on the action points idea, and the fact that you're getting more and more action points as the game progresses. That seems cool. I didn't expect anything from this, and now I'm excited. That makes sense. Each character in the fight rolls dice according to their unique attack and defensive abilities. After you upgrade a fighter 4 times, you unlock their special ability. That's cool. First person to 7 points. This is a very succinct and easy way, and I feel like I've got enough from it, and I'm actually interested. This is a skirmish game that I'm interested in. You know what? Instead of getting Runar, get this one. And that's a cool concept, and that's why they'll just be adding in Meet the Fantasy team. And this was the what team? The post-apocalyptic team, and that's what you get in the Randar Brog. Here's the thing, though. I'm such a plastic whore. You know I am. And I don't even paint them. Looking at those, I'm like, well, yeah, but I want the cool minis to punch each other in the face with. You don't need them. Look at these little itty-bitty standees. Yeah, that should be fine. But here's the trick. If you have existing minis, remember, you can always proxy them on games like these where you don't know if you really want them or not. So I'm thinking, what about my little Creatures of Aetherfields minis? Well, they'd probably fit the bill. And in the standard edition, they've just reduced the overall content of the game, which makes it cheaper, which is great. Let's see what the shipping is. Come on, be good shipping. Be good shipping. And also give me the rulebook so I can take a look. Pending demand, there'll be standees for versions of these as well for their new stuff. The Boglins. Cool. That'll be a fun campaign. They're just gigantic. Okay, come on. I think this is it. This is the type of skirmish game that I like. Something quick. Not too many choices, not too much setup, but you just throw it down, you move people around, you roll some dice, you have fun, right? Ah, dang it. $20 Canadian to US and Canada, 25 or 30. Maybe this will be different for the standard versus the deluxe. Ugh. I wish it was 10. I mean, I wish it was nothing, but maybe we'll see these out there. We can also see the backer differential. 20 on the standee, 138 on the deluxe. I think we're only going to see deluxe in the other ones moving forward. I love that they've done the standee, though, and I kind of want to support that. But then it works out to being $50 US, 65 Canadian. And again, that's too much for something that I would want to pay $40 for. And I think that's exactly the ticket. 30 to 40 would be 40 Canadian without the shipping. So it's not horrible, but where's the rule book, though? That's the question. If this is a reprint, the rulebook should be on this page, and it doesn't seem to be. I guess I didn't specify, too, that you can see the number of victory points here is how many victory points you get for killing that character, because Brog is obviously so much harder to take down than friggin' Gandalf. Sorry, Randar. I don't like that there isn't a rulebook here, because it is a first edition, but this gave me enough of a taster of the game that makes me excited. And you can probably find it on Board Game Geek. Let's see. They're updating the rules, cosmetic and clarification. There's an entire website called Gatefall Rules, but it's just FAQs. Where are the rules? Well, you can see here, this is a nice component shot of the rulebook, you know, your little board, and then your cards. That's it, right? Where are the rules? I want to see how many cards I get, how I can upgrade them, coins upgrade them, but how do I get the coins, right? Like, well, not here. They might be somewhere. That's also then giving me hesitation. Yeah, nothing in the updates. Oh, they earn coins during attacks for every coin they rolled. Oh, okay. So here are the coins. I just missed that. I skipped that part. So you get coins, you get skulls. Skulls deal damage. Coins let you get stuff. And then you can see over here what their health and strength are. And you can get items somehow as well, which will do some things. It looks like they modify your stat. I shouldn't have to do so much digging. That's my only critique here. I think it looks fun, but yeah, too much digging for me. Anyway, if you are interested in that, that finishes Tuesday, December 13th at 5:33 p.m. And that's it. That's it for the week. I preferred myself when I was smaller, but, you know, I'll get off your screen soon, get this Henchmania mug out of the way. But every week I do a pick for me and a pick for you, the pick for me being the thing that I'm the most interested in, pick for you being the thing that I think you should get, or I think you'll enjoy if you do get. And this week, well, give me a second. Yeah, this week is the week of get it at retail, right? Let's switch back. I shouldn't have even switched to me to begin with. No, that's not it. Maple Valley, get it at retail. Tiny Epic Crimes, maybe doesn't have a retail. I think I've got a pick for me and the pick for you. Spoiler alert, one of them's Tiny Epic Crimes. Fit to print, get it at retail, right? Those look good. Henchmania could be the pick for you if that's what you like. I don't think you do. I mean, I think it should be no surprise. The pick for me is going to be Gatefall. I'm intrigued enough by this system. I think the art looks fun. I think it would be easy to pull out. I think it would be easy to play quickly. And I hope that it lives up to... I'm doing it as a pick for me without reading the rulebook, though, because I can't find it. So that might change if I see some things where I go, that doesn't look that fun. But for me, I think Gatefall looks fun, and I like a standee pledge, and I like how accessible they're trying to make it. It's just the shipping's too much that I'm not going to get it. And the pick for you, I think, will be Tiny Epic Crimes. I feel like the pick for you is always going to be just a standard Tiny Epic game if it's up, because it's decent value. So if this looks good and exciting to you, I think get it. I don't think it looks that exciting. I think it looks at that good level. I'm picking this purely on a value system, and that the shipping isn't that much, that if you are like actively excited about it, then I think getting it feels reasonable. But I don't necessarily see mechanically something that's going to keep me coming back over and over. But if you love Clue, and Clue's like your favorite game, or you know somebody who loves Clue, this might be the gateway into getting them into larger board games by this system. I think that's what this could be. So maybe. I'm hopeful for this. I don't think it's going to have that much longevity on a shelf personally. So it's a tentative pick for you, but it's a pick for you based on value. And if you are actively excited about it, well, then your tastes are different than mine, and that's not allowed ever. So change them immediately. That's really all I wanted to say about that. Anyway, so that's it. That's the pick for me. I'm going to wrap it up now. I've been talking for a while, but my voice is okay, which is great. I tested negative today, so I can maybe escape this room that I've been quarantining in. I moved from one quarantine room into another quarantine room, and I've been living on granola bars and apples. So I'm excited to be able to go out into the world and exist. Yeah, we'll be back next week with probably another crowdfunding countdown, unless I look and there's nothing there, in which case it'll be something else. Likely we'll do our ranking of all the $1 million campaigns, doing that sort of retroactive. I also like that I've been updating, and when we reach the end of this year, we will have covered everything in crowdfunding, which is kind of cool. There wasn't anything on GameFound or BackerKit worth talking about this week. So yeah, I'm excited. We're also nearing 1,000 campaigns covered since we began. Can you believe it? I can't. But as always, there's the crowdfunding countdown master list in the links below. If you ever want to search a specific episode, well, I got all the links there and all the Kickstarter links. It takes a bit of copying and pasting, but, you know, it saves me a bit of time. Anyway, we're going to call it there. Thank you so much for sticking with me. Let me know if you're backing anything, if there's anything that I did miss. I think I did miss one. So please do let me know. And I'm sure it's that one that you're thinking of. That was my bad. Let me know what I missed, what you are excited about, and let me know what your drag name would be. I was watching this video about this epic saga of church plays that someone was putting on in a church in Winnipeg. They would just do bad, very high production value versions of popular stuff and just change it so that all the different characters would get crucified. It's amazing. I'll link to that video in the description as well. It's just, wow, it's just wild. But there was a character in there, instead of Butch Cassidy, they called them Butch Chastity, which someone as the top comment was saying that was an incredible drag name, and I have to agree. So that's our tangent. Anyway, my name's Chris George, and I don't have a catchphrase. But remember to legally make sure that your next child's middle name is Grumple if you ever want to watch one of these videos again. Bye!